or the true English Dean, one to be hanged for a rape 1730 by Jonathan Swift. Our brethren of England, who love us so dear, and in all they do for us so kindly do mean a blessing upon them, have sent us this year for the good of our church, a true English Dean. A holier priest near was wrapped up in crape, the worst you can say, he committed a rape. In his journey to Dublin, he lighted at Chester, and there he grew fond of another man's wife, burst into her chamber, and would have caressed her, but she valued her honor much more than her life. She bustled and struggled, and made her escape to a room full of guests for fear of a rape. The Dean he pursued to recover his game, and now to attack her again he prepares, but the company stood in defense of the dame. They cudgelled and cuffed him, and kicked him downstairs. His deanship was now in a damnable scrape, and this was no time for committing a rape. To Dublin he comes, to the bagnio he goes, and orders the landlord to bring him a whore. No scruple came on him, his gown to expose. 'Twas what all his life he had practiced before. He made himself drunk with the juice of the grape, and got a good clap, but committed no rape. The Dean and his landlord, a jolly comrade, resolved for a fortnight to swim in delight, for why they had both been brought up to the trade of drinking all day, and of whoring all night. His landlord was ready his deanship to ape in every debauch, but committing a rape. This Protestant zealot, this English divine in church, and in state was of principles sound, was truer than steel to the Hanover line, and grieved that a Tory should live above ground. Shall a subject so loyal be hanged by the nape for no other crime, but committing a rape? By old popish canons, as wise men have penned each priest had a concubine jure ecclesiae, who'd be Dean of Ferns without a commendam. And precedents we can produce, if it please ye. Then why should the Dean, when whores are so cheap, be put to the peril and toil of a rape? If fortune should please, but to take such a crotchet to the eye, apply great Smedley's successor, to give thee lawn sleeves, a mitre and rochet, whom wouldst thou resemble? I leave thee a guesser. But I only behold thee in Atherton's two shape, for sodomy hanged as thou for a rape. Ah, dost thou not envy the brave Colonel Chartres, condemned for thy crime at 70. To hang him all England would lend him their garters, yet he lives, and is ready to ravish again 3. Then throttle thyself with an ell of strong tape, for thou hast not a groat to atone for a rape. The Dean he was vexed that his whores were so willing, he longed for a girl that would struggle and squall. He ravished her fairly, and saved a good shilling, but here was to pay the devil and all. His troubles and sorrows now come in a heap, and hanged he must be for committing a rape. If maidens are ravished, it is their own choice. Why are they so willful to struggle with men? If they would but lie quiet and stifle their voice, no devil nor dean could ravish them then. Nor would there be need of a strong hempen cape tied round the dean's neck for committing a rape. Our church and our state dear England maintains, for which all true Protestant hearts should be glad. She sends us our bishops, our judges and deans, and better would give us, if better she had. But Lord, how the rabble will stare and will gape when the good English Dean is hanged up for a rape. Footnote 1, Dublin, June 6. The Rev. Dean Sawbridge, having surrendered himself on his indictment for a rape, was arraigned at the bar of the Court of King's Bench, and is to be tried next Monday. London Evening Post, June 16, 1730. Dublin, June 13. The Rev. Thomas Sawbridge, Dean of Ferns, who was indicted for ravishing Susanna Runkard, and whose trial was put off for some time past on motion of the King's Council on behalf of the said Susanna, was yesterday tried in the Court of King's Bench, and acquitted. It is reported that the Dean intends to indict her for perjury, he being in the county of Wexford, when she swore the rape was committed against her, in the city of Dublin. Daily Post Boy, June 23, 1730. Nichols. Footnote 2, a bishop of Waterford sent from England 100 years ago was hanged at Arbor Hill near Dublin. See the penitent death of a woeful sinner, or the penitent death of John Atherton, executed at Dublin, the 5th of December 1640, with some annotations upon several passages in it, as also the sermon, with some further enlargements, preached at his burial by Nicholas Barnard, Dean of Ardagh in Ireland. Quis in seculo peccavit enormius Paulo quis in religione, gravius Petro illitamen ponitentium assecuti sunt non solium ministerium, sed magisterium sanctitatis nolite ergo ante tempus judicer quia fortis quos vos laudatis Deus reprehendit, et quos vos reprehenditis, ille laudabit prima novissimi et novissimi, primi Peter Chrysologue Dublin, printed by the Society of Stationers, 1641. Footnote 3. This trial took place in 1723, but being only found guilty of an assault, with intent to commit the crime, the worthy colonel was fined 300 to the private party, prosecuting see a full account of Chartres in the notes to Pope's Moral Essays Epistle Roman 3, and the satirical epitaph by Arbuthnot Carruthers edition W.E.B.